With all due respect, that's a bunch of malarkey. This is a bunch of stuff, deal.
What does that mean, a bunch of stuff?
Well, it means it's simply inaccurate.
It's Irish.
It's Irish. It is. We Irish call it malarkey.
Thanks for the translation.
No, we Irish call it malarkey.
You know what this is? Yeah, and I reserve this word for those rare instances when it's truly deserved. This is malarkey.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
From the King Spring Studios here in Smyrna, Georgia, this is A Bunch of Malarkey. I'm your host, Charlie McMahon. Thank you so much for joining us. Our first episode of February. Can you believe it? February is here. Groundhog Day. Some places he saw a shadow. Some places, I think the big guy in Punxsutawney, is it? Pennsylvania? I forget what the actual dude's name is now. Punxsutawney Phil. So I did not see a shadow. And a couple of other ones didn't see their shadow. But the dude down here, General something or other, saw his shadow. So I don't know. Folks, we're taking meteorology lessons from rodents, but we're not believing in climate change and all that fun stuff. So speaking of climate, folks, we went from below freezing our asses off here last week before the Super Bowl, and it's close to 70 today, going to be close to 80 this week for most of the week, and then the bottom's going to drop out again, so it's crazy. First week of February, we swing from the 20s to this almost 80, so it's totally crazy. But let's keep listening to that rodent. I think that's good advice. So speaking of the Super Bowl, folks, we made it through here in Atlanta. I think the city did a pretty good job. But then again, I grew up, as you know, in New York, in the New York City metro area, so I'm used to a real show. New York does it bigger than anybody, so I'm kind of underwhelmed, and I'm not putting Atlanta down. I thought they did a fabulous job leading up to the Super Bowl itself, but I'm so used to a high production value in New York that any lower market area, it just doesn't do it for me. I just don't get as excited. I mean, I'm very proud to live here. We've been here for 8 years. I like the city. I like the suburbs here. I like the area. But when you have 40 years of everything being over the top and big and that's drilled in your head, when you come to a little smaller market city, it's just not the same. Even if they do a great job, you're still kind of like underwhelmed a bit. So that's something I need to get over, folks. But as far as the Super Bowl itself goes, now Atlanta did a great job with all the festivities leading to, and they did a great job with the traffic flow. Great job all around by everybody. The game itself, you can't help, folks. We have no control over that. If you paid $7,000 to $10,000 to see a Maroon 5 concert and a punting contest between punters, not our fault here in Atlanta. You can never know what you're going to get within the game. Now, as far as the halftime show, everybody's railing against Maroon 5 and their choice of Big Boy and whoever the hell else came out. I don't even know who Big Boy is. Folks, I'm a music lover. And I guess a couple of years ago when I stopped DJing, I really stopped paying attention. But I haven't really liked music, modern music, since like the early 2000s. I've kind of checked out on a lot of it, and I'm still listening to the same 20-year span from like 75 to 95. But Maroon 5, I mean, you can't say the guy doesn't have a good voice. Adam Levine doesn't have a good voice. He does have a great voice. Oh, all right, not great. He has a good voice. But the show lacks something compared to Super Bowls in the past. I mean, bring out the old guys. Unfortunately, Prince is passed. Tom Petty is passed. Bring Bruce back. Bring the Rolling Stones back. They're in their 70s and 80s, and these guys can still blow out any of these younger guys. So, and everybody here in Georgia got hung up on that it should be a Georgia artist performing at the Super Bowl. Now, when did we start giving gigs out to local people? That just doesn't happen. We have the Super Bowl in New Jersey, I don't know, a few years back, and Bruno Mars was the headliner. You had it in Houston a couple of years ago. Your natural thought is Beyonce in Houston. Lady Gaga did it. So the hometown guy doesn't always get the gig. So everybody here in Atlanta needs to calm down. They were all upset that they didn't give it to a Georgia native. Now, the real good Georgia natives are dead, folks. Ray Charles is gone. Otis Redding's gone. James Brown is gone. Give it to, if those guys were alive, I'd be all for it. I mean, Gladys Knight blew me away with the national anthem. I thought she did a great job. Maybe she should have been the halftime show. Sing Midnight Train to Georgia, a few good songs that she has. Heard It Through the Grapevine. That's my favorite version of I Heard It Through the Grapevine. It's Gladys Knight and the Pips version. So if you've never heard that, it blows away every other version I've ever heard. Gladys Knight and the Pips, I Heard It Through the Grapevine. So we made it through the Super Bowl here in Atlanta. I'm sure the people within the city limits are, even though they showed their southern hospitality like they're supposed to, I'm sure that they are glad that everybody's back on their airplane and headed back to L.A. and to Boston and wherever else they came from, because it was pretty hectic here. But we got through it. Everybody got out safe, I hope. There were no major incidents or anything like that, so I guess we can call that a success. So whether you're a football fan, not a football fan, Super Bowl is over. Now we turn the page, warming up here a little bit. It's going to get cold again. I don't think winter's fully gone, but we start looking ahead to baseball and those spring things, Valentine's Day coming up, St. Patrick's Day, and before you know it, will be opening day at baseball and hockey and basketball playoffs coming up in the spring. So we have a lot to look forward to. But I feel like I'm in a funk, folks. You ever get, this is the first year I've experienced it here in the Atlanta area. Usually when I lived in New York, after Christmas, there was because winter's so long up there, folks. You don't get warm until April, May, if you're lucky. And right after Christmas, you get into a funk. And I never got that here because spring comes early. But for some reason this year, I'm in this funk, this post-holiday funk that I need to get out of. So that's why I come on here, because this is like my therapy. I tell you all my problems and all my bullshit, and you guys listen. And I want to say thank you. I mean, I thought 2,000 listeners last week was the week before was wow. 2,500 this week, folks. I mean, and I talked about toilets. So either you guys love shit and love toilets, or the audience is just growing. So thank you so much for every time I turn around, folks, it's a higher number per week. And by the end of the day, today, we will hit 20,000 downloads. And if you would have told me a few months ago I was going to ever hit 20,000 downloads, I would be like, you're crazy. I thought, 20 a week, 30 a week. Now I'm 2,500 a week. I'm closing in on 20,000 downloads, and I owe it all to you guys, because without you guys tuning in and finding us wherever you enjoy your podcast, this wouldn't be happening. So that's what's going on post-Super Bowl, warming up here in Metro Atlanta. And your host trying to get over his post-holiday funk, but I appreciate it. So speaking of toilets, folks, I put an extra poll out on the Facebook page. Now, all our polls are on the Facebook page. I do occasionally throw it on Twitter, but Facebook page is like the hub of where we do all the voting and stuff. Now, I put out a question last week because we talked about going number 2 in public bathrooms, whether you're comfortable taking a crap in a public toilet. 69% of you said no, only in emergency, and 31% said you would go anywhere, that it's not a problem. So 69 to 31, and pretty much 2/3 of you said you would only take a crap in a public bathroom with a dire emergency. So that's where we stand as far as public toilets go. And in our other poll, in our favorite poll, which is also, come on, folks, our favorite segment. You guys look forward to this, and the voting was up again this week. So let's kick it off. Our favorite segment.
Mutant of the Week.
Now, I kind of thought it was going to go this way. In last week's poll, we had the action figure axe hole, we call them. The guy who took an axe to his family's vehicle and TV set and a whole bunch of other stuff because he thought his wife messed around with his action figure collection. He won 64% to the Waffle House hoochie, the woman who got naked in the Waffle House parking lot and danced and kicked the guy in the nuts and whatever. She got 36% of the vote. So 64 to 36, we have a winner, and that would be the action figure axe hole. So thank you so much for your votes, and we're going to have our new nominees coming up. So if you don't know where, if you're brand new, because we're getting a bunch of new listeners every week, Go to our Facebook page, A Bunch of Malarkey. Like the page. Even write a review if you like the show. And that's where you'll vote every week. Polls come out on Tuesday, and they close over the weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. So we give you 5 or 6 days to vote on your Mutant of the Week choice. So let's go right in to our Mutant of the Week nominees. Our first one took place on an airplane. An American Airlines kicked a Michigan family off a plane in Florida on Wednesday night over what the airline said were complaints from other passengers about their body odor. Okay, folks, we got a BO problem here. Yossi Adler, his wife Jenny, and their 19-month-old, here we go with the 19th, he's a year and a half, their 19-month-old daughter were seated on a Miami to Detroit flight when the ground crew asked them to step off the plane, and then the door closed behind them. They said, "Sir, people have complained that you have body odor," Adler told NBC News on Thursday. I said, "Excuse me? I need to get home. There's no body odor on me." The family in Florida for a vacation made it back to Detroit on Thursday, and the airline stood behind its decision. The Adler family were asked to deplane last night after several passengers, along with our crew members, complained about their body odor, American Airlines said in a statement. The family were provided hotel accommodations and meals and rebooked on a flight to Detroit today. Hopefully they took a shower also. Yossi Adler, the 36-year-old business consultant from Southfield, Michigan, accused the airline of singling out his family because they were Jewish. He used his cell phone to tape his argument with the ground crew shortly after they were taken off the airplane. "There's a religious reason, for some reason, that they're kicking me off the plane. We don't have odor. Nobody here has odor," Adler is saying on the video he shot. Moments later, you can hear a ground crew member say, "Now, would you say you told me for religious reasons you don't shower? Is that what you said?" Adler responded, "No, I didn't. I shower every day. I said you kicked me off because of religious reasons." American Airlines insisted that body odor, not religion, was behind Wednesday night's action. Back home in Detroit on Thursday, Adler insists he didn't smell last Wednesday night and that he and his wife bathe every morning first thing. And they still haven't said which one of us had the body odor. Was it me? Was it my wife? Or was it my baby? Adler asked. So our first Mutant of the Week nominee, I guess it's the whole family. It's the Filthy Flying Family as our Mutant number one. So if you think the Mutant of the Week should be, well, let's read the other one first and then we'll decide. This is a quick one. This one comes to you from Oakdale, California, not to be confused with Oakland, California. The search is on for a man wanted in a bizarre dine and dash. The suspect ended up taking his food to go. Surveillance video shows the man in a nice suit sitting at a nice restaurant in Oakdale, California earlier last week. He ordered a porterhouse steak, a lobster tail, and a 20-ounce beer. But instead of eating the hunk of meat, he wrapped the steak up in a napkin and then tucked it in his coat pocket and walked out the door after guzzling the beer and devouring the lobster tail. He ended up skipping out on a $56 check. The owner says he decided to post the video on social media to help catch the steak smuggler so he doesn't hit up any more restaurants. So our Mutant number 2 nominee is the steak smuggler. So we got a heavyweight bout this week, folks. We have the Filthy Flying Family versus the steak smuggler. So the poll will be up, and it will run from Tuesday until sometime late on Saturday. So I wanted to read you another quick story before we get into the main topic. And this comes out of South Carolina. And a sheriff's office in South Carolina says a Sumter teen faked his own kidnapping and led his mother to believe he'd be killed if she didn't pay him the ransomer or the person holding him $130. The Sumter County Sheriff's Office tells news outlets that 19-year-old Emmanuel Franklin was arrested last week and charged with blackmail. Deputies say Franklin led his mother to believe that he'd been abducted and would be killed unless $130 was placed in a neighborhood mailbox. An incident report says the mailbox belonged to Franklin's father. Franklin's mother told deputies she received a call from Franklin and an unknown man from a private number, and the unknown man demanded the cash or Franklin would be hurt. Deputies say Franklin later told authorities he made up the story to get $130 from his mother. Now, is that all he thinks his life is worth, $130? I mean, just the price tag on that would have me suspicious. You know, what's the minimum ransom, would you say, for a person? I would say $5,000, right? Not that I'm saying life is only worth $5,000, folks. Don't get me wrong, but you know, what's the starting bid for a ransom? 130 is too low. You know, I'd probably laugh if like somebody called me and said, "We have your wife, and unless you pay 130." I know it's fake because 130, that's just a random number, and I think the bidding has to start around 5,000. So I wanted to share that story because it does segue. Now, let me say this. I had a whole different show planned for you today, folks. I had, you know, I write these, I don't write scripts. I write outlines, okay, on topics, and then I book a guest or a co-host, and it's a week-long process to get, you know, to deliver a show for you guys. So I'm usually doing this show, and I'm already thinking about next week's show because that's how fast we have to turn around these episodes. So I had a whole topic and show booked and guest booked, and unfortunately they could not make it last minute, so we had to pivot. You know what they say in Hollywood, folks, and on Broadway and anywhere, the show must go on. So the topic that I had and had the guest for, I didn't think it was a good one for me to do solo, and you know, I respect all of you out there, 2,500 people listening every week, so I don't just want to mail it in and give you guys shit and try to do a show that would have been great with 2 people and try to do it myself. I want to give you guys a good show every week. So the day I stop mailing it in and saying I don't give a shit, I'll do it anyway, is the day I'm going to stop podcasting, because you guys come in for an hour a week, tune in, and you guys deserve a good show. So what I did this week is, as you know from previous podcasts, I was a big participant, I guess you could say, when I was younger, of prank phone calls. Now, you can't really do prank phone calls anymore, folks, because of technology. The calls can be easily traced, caller ID. Most people don't even pick up their phone anymore. I read a study the other day. 65% of people, even if they know the person who's calling them, don't pick up their cell phone, you know, when someone calls. They'll answer your text, hopefully, but people don't answer the phone anymore. People don't have landlines anymore where you can get their phone number. Everybody's walking around with a cell phone number. And there's no, like, big cell phone directory that I'm aware of. I know you can find it if you look online, but years ago you went to a phone book, you got their name, address, phone number, you called them, you played a prank on them. It was easy. And like I told you in previous episodes, we told people they won free turkeys, free lawnmowers, had people driving to the store with their old lawnmower. We pulled all these funny, elaborate, scripted phone calls. Now, I have two cassette tapes that I had converted onto CDs years ago of some of these calls. Now, these weren't the vintage ones from when I was a kid with the turkey and all that. These were recorded between 1990 and 1994. So in this week's episode, being that I had a whole nother show to do and I had to pivot and come up with something last minute. And I've been meaning to do a show like this, so it gave me a good opportunity where I, you know, didn't have an idea right in front of me, and I said, I'm going to go. I had this one on a list. So what I'm going to do for you today, folks, is I'm going to play for you some of these vintage prank calls that date from around 1990, 1991, up to 1994. You know, I could play them for 5 hours on here, but I took the best of them, and I'm going to explain before the call what's about to happen, and you know why I did what I did. And this is just, instead of hearing me just ramble here in 2019, you're going to hear Charlie McMahon in 1991, 92, 93, 94. Get these people on the phone and mess with them a little bit. So I hope you enjoy the calls, and I think you will. I think it will bring you much-needed entertainment to get you through your work week. So, without further ado, here are the best of. I called the tape McScam, 1990 to 1994. Okay, we're going to start off with me calling people randomly from the phone book and telling them that I am their next-door neighbor, Tony, and that my house is on fire, and that I'm afraid the flames are going to spread to their house. Now, folks, I had no idea what their next-door neighbor's name was. What are the odds of me calling two different people and them having a next-door neighbor named Tony, who I claim I am? So here is my house is on fire. And you'll notice on the second call, I call up a different person and tell them that I'm Tony next door, my house is on fire, and they get very scared and nervous and say, all right, let me go. And then I call them back, and I tell them that I'm going back into the home to retrieve something, and you'll notice their reaction on what I tell them. So enjoy The House is on Fire.
Harry?
Hello?
Yes, may I speak to Harry?
Who is this?
Tony!
Who?
Tony!
Next door.
Yes,
Was anything wrong?
yes, I'm calling from a phone booth. My house is on fire.
Oh my God, where are you? Tony next door.
I'm on the Cedars Meat Market.
Why didn't you come to us?
Because I wasn't thinking straight. I ran.
Where's your wife?
My wife, I don't know.
Did you call the fire department?
Yeah, but I don't know what's going on.
Wait,
I'm by Messina's Meat Market up on the corner.
all right, come to us. We're home.
All right, are you up?
We're in the house. Dave's going to call the fire department.
I called it already.
Okay, so do you know where your wife is?
No, I don't know where she is. I think she ran up the street. I don't know where she went. I lost her.
Okay, I'm looking out in the street to see if I see her.
There's a lot of smoke coming out the back of the house. A lot of smoke.
Okay, Tony, come to us. We're here.
All right, I'm running. I'll be right there.
Don't run.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello?
Hi, it's Tony next door. How you doing?
All right.
I'm sorry to call you so late, but listen, my house is on fire, and I need you to get out of your house because I'm afraid the flames are going to spread.
Tony?
Yeah,
Tony Proposal?
yeah.
Oh.
My whole kitchen's on fire. I'm calling from the neighbor across the street's house. I'm afraid the smoke and the...
All right, Tony.
All right, I called the fire department. I want you guys to get out because I'm afraid...
All right, Tony, let me get off. Huh?
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, it's Tony again.
Yes, Tony.
Listen, I'm sorry that I hung up. So listen,
What?
I'm going back in the house because I know it's on fire now, but I have to get something. If the fire department comes, just tell them I went inside for something.
All right.
I know it's dangerous, but I need to get something. I have jelly donuts in there I have to get.
All right, bye.
Now, folks, we see food recalls in the news almost every day. Wood and chicken nuggets, all kinds of crazy things. But have you ever found ping pong balls baked in apple pies? Well, neither have I, but that's not what I told two supermarket chains when I called them back in 1994. I told them that I indeed found ping pong balls baked in my apple pies. And you'll see what ensues when I let these two bakery departments in supermarket chains know that I found some table tennis balls baked in my American tradition apple pie.
Good afternoon, Green Union Bakery.
Hi, good afternoon. How you doing? My name is Joseph Morrell. I live in the West Islip area. I was in your store roughly an hour ago, and my wife and I purchased two of the apple pies from the bakery department.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to let you know that we cut the both of them, and baked inside the pie were ping pong balls. 3 in each pie. Like those table tennis plastic type balls.
You gotta be kidding.
Because I couldn't cut, my wife and I were going to have tea and have a piece, and I tried cutting through it. I couldn't cut through it, so I cut it like on an angle, and we looked inside, and we pulled these out, and then I checked the other one, and the same thing. So I was just wanting to let you know, because, I don't want anybody, get
On the apple pie?
it's inside the apple pie though. You can't see it when you look at the pie, but when you go to cut into it, it's like
Okay,
you
the
can't-
ones you purchased from the table?
The table, right? Mm-hmm.
On the table.
Yeah, because I know I don't know if you prepare them there. I think you probably get them shipped and then you just bake them.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know, if you want to call the area that prepares these, but I don't know if they're in all of them. But the two I purchased, that's what I found in them. And if you like me to bring them in, I'll stop by. I live right, not far.
Can you?
Yeah,
because
sure.
Then I'm going to go tell Curtis, the manager on now, just, to let him know what I should do.
Has this happened before?
No, you're the first customer that's called. See, I don't know how many are out there. If I should take them all off.
Because if it happened on my two,
Well, that's
there's a
what
good
I'm
chance
saying.
that they're...
if it's one, I could say, well, maybe one. But two?
And you know what I'm talking about. Those plastic balls that, you hit on the ping pong table?
That big?
Well, no, it's not really that. It's the size of like a golf ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the pie is pretty thick, so it sits right in the crust, in the filling. But...
All right, could you bring it in and leave the balls in?
Well, I already pulled them out. Because I wanted to see what was in it. My wife and I gutted it out with a knife.
Well, then bring the...
I'll bring everything in, I'll bring it all in.
Okay, because I'm going to go talk to the manager now.
Yeah.
See what he wants.
Because we were shocked because I tried, and I know you always have fresh stuff out there that is not still, but
you're the first customer.
Yeah, I had a big knife, and I'm saying to my wife, why can't I cut through this? And,
okay, I'll go tell him, and I'll tell him you're bringing them in.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for your help.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bakery.
Hi, good afternoon. How you doing today? I was wondering if you could help me out. I have a problem. I was just in your store about an hour ago. I purchased 2 of those apple pies that you have out, the store-baked ones.
Right.
You're not going to believe what I found in one of them. 3 ping pong balls.
What?
3 ping pong balls, like the table tennis balls baked inside the pie. I cut it. My knife wouldn't go through, so I cut around it. And my wife and I, we looked inside 3. We pulled out 3 ping pong balls.
Hold on a minute.
Okay. Hello?
Can I help you?
Yes, I was just speaking to a lady. My name is Tony DiLorenzo, sir. I was just in your store.
Yes.
And I purchased 2 apple pies, my wife and I.
The large ones?
Yes, sir, in your bakery tomorrow. And when I cut it, I couldn't get my knife through. So I cut it on an angle, and when we cut it in half, there were 3 like table tennis, like ping pong type balls baked inside the pie.
Oh my God.
So I didn't cut the other one yet. I don't know if I should or not.
This is the bakery department, or you bought from the bakery section?
Well, you have the tables out in front of the bakery area.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Honey, could you cut the other one? See if the same thing happens. Because maybe it was just an odd,
If you want to bring them back, well, we don't assemble the pies here. They come in frozen, and we what we do is bake it off.
Yep, my wife found them in another one too.
Could you please bring them back, and we'll give you a refund? Or
yeah. Does this happen often? Because this is the first time we ever bought.
This is the first thing I ever heard. The first time I've ever heard it.
This is the first time we ever bought a pie. We usually go to the bakery. We said, we're in the store.
But it's unbelievable.
This one's got 4 in it.
Oh my goodness.
They're like large white, like the kids play table tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, and they're like, they're very light.
Unbelievable.
Somebody must have been playing ping pong at the bakery.
Well, no, the manufacturer.
No, I mean, the people that put them together was what I meant.
I can't believe that. Oh my God.
I think you should check the ones that are on the table.
I'm going to bring them in.
All right.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
And, like I said, if you can bring those back, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll let you have a look at them.
Yeah, we'll send it back to the manufacturer or whatever.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Telemarketers, folks, you can't avoid them. Now, I told you earlier that 65% of people don't answer their cell phone, especially when they know it's a telemarketer. But what would you do if you did answer your phone at 1 o'clock in the morning and someone was trying to sell you a vacuum cleaner? Well, back in 1994, that someone was me. Listen, as I tried to sell 2 separate people an Electrolux vacuum cleaner at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Tony DiLorenzo. I'm with the Electrolux Vacuum Cleaners. How are you this evening?
Come on, are you crazy or something?
Huh?
Are you crazy? You call us a lot of time.
Yeah, I was wondering if I could stop by and show you a couple of our new models.
Hello?
Hi, good evening. How are you tonight?
Who are you?
I'm Tony DiLorenzo from Electrolux Vacuum Cleaners. How are you tonight?
Good night.
I'll call call him right back.
Yes.
You need a new vacuum?
I need any what?
Do you need a new vacuum cleaner? Like a nice Electron?
Just a minute. Are you for real? Are you a little off your rocker?
Of course I'm for real. What do you think? I don't work like you?
Do you know what time it is?
It's 1:09 actually.
What's more annoying than being woken up by your telephone? Well, nowadays you could put your phone on silent. But back in 1992, we had the old house phones that rang. I guess you could pull them out of the wall. But listen as I call people up in the middle of the night and tell them that they're not allowed to go to sleep because I couldn't sleep during the day. And I accused them of keeping me up all day. And I told them if I can't sleep, well, you can't sleep.
Well, you don't really think you're going to sleep now, do you? After what you did to me, you might as well get up, because if I can't sleep, you can't sleep, so don't even bother going to bed. Don't even bother. Get your ass out of bed, because you're not sleeping tonight. Get up. Get up, Fred. Get up. Fred, get up. Yeah. Get up, you fat thing. Get up. Get up. Chinese food at this hour, you fat thing. Get up, Fred. Fred. What are you doing, Fred? Heavy breathing over chocolate cake? Fred. Get up. Get up. Get up, get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Get up. Chocolate cake, man. You're get up, man. I get up, man. Get up. You're get up, man. I get up, man. You're nuts, get up, man. Yeah, we're getting up. You're up now? Yeah. You gonna stay up? Yeah. You're nuts, get up, man. Yeah, we're getting up. Get up, man. Woo! See you later, get up, man.
Hello?
Are you up? Get up. 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 Off that bed. Get up. Get up. Get up. No. 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 I say get up. If I can't sleep, you can't sleep. Get up.
Huh?
If I can't sleep, you can't sleep. Get up.
No, I have to sleep.
You can sleep tonight after what you did with
I have to sleep.
No, you don't. Get up, because you had the radio on all day waking me up. Now you're not going to sleep. Get up.
Yeah, I have to sleep.
Why do you have to sleep?
Yeah.
Why do you have to sleep?
Why I have to
Yeah.
sleep? Yeah.
You didn't let me sleep with that radio on all day.
So I can be awake tomorrow morning.
Well, you're going to have to be, because
That's why I am asleep.
I think you're nuts.
Have you ever forgotten to pay a utility bill? I don't know, a phone bill, an electric bill, a gas bill, and have the utilities turned off? Probably not, right? Although some of us in our broke days, maybe. I think I maybe had my cell phone turned off one time back in, probably from using the phone so much for all these crank calls. But anyway, on this call, I call up a husband and wife and tell them that we sent warning, that I was the electric company on Long Island, and that I sent them warning notices that their power was going to be terminated due to lack of payment, and tonight was the night. I called them around 10 o'clock at night and told them at midnight, like the stroke of midnight, just like New Year's Eve, their power was going to be terminated. You'll see how they react, and when she puts her husband on the line, who happens to work for an electrical utility, how he responds. So enjoy. Relax, or the power will be terminated.
Hello?
Hello, can I speak to Mr. and Mrs. please?
This is Mrs.
How you doing? I'm sorry to call you at an inconvenient hour. My name is Mr. Walter Myers. I'm with the Long Island Lighting Company, Loco.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you received, we sent 3 notices to your home over the past month, since the new year started, actually, about an unpaid balance of $248.75.
Not here.
Is this 46 Stewart Avenue, Babylon? Well, I sent out 3 notices, and today was the due date, February 11th, on this payment.
We don't know any money. We don't have any balance in Wilco.
Well, according to our records, you do, and as of midnight tonight, the power is terminated in your home.
You gotta be kidding me.
As of midnight tonight, that's why I'm calling to see if you can maybe rush a check or a payment.
Where am I gonna do that from?
We have our Wilco office at Brentwood now open. It's open 24.
What is your name?
Walter Myers.
Mr. Myers, you gotta be kidding me.
Ma'am.
Hold on a minute.
Sure.
Hello?
Yes, hello.
You make some kind of mistake. We have February's bill.
Okay.
$174.
Ma'am, I'm told by my supervisor to make this call. He told me 3 notices were sent out. Well, I'm really sorry to inform you. I have no control of this. Your power.
I'm calling the bill in my hand.
Well, your power will be terminated as of midnight tonight.
Well, when were you planning to call me?
Ma'am, we sent 3 warning notices out.
You call me 10 o'clock at night.
We're just calling to inform you that there's still time to get us a payment.
And how would I do that?
At the Brentwood office.
I'm going to go leave my house now, go to Brentwood?
I'm not telling you you have to, ma'am, but I'm telling you what the consequences are if we don't receive payment by midnight.
Well, how can you make a statement like that when I have the bill from Wilco in my hand?
Well, if you could present this bill to us and proof of payment, then...
When should I present it?
I guess you can. We'll give you till morning, 9 a.m.
See, that's sick of you. I have to be at a doctor's office at 9 o'clock.
Ma'am, if you paid your bills on time, this wouldn't be happening.
Don't tell me that, because we are paid.
Well,
according... You better check your computer. I don't know who makes your bills up.
Well, according to us, you owe this $248.75.
Well, you're wrong. I'm holding the bill in my hand for February.
No, you didn't pay it.
I didn't pay what?
You didn't pay the balance. You might have paid a payment, but no.
I'll read you the thing.
You have an outstanding balance of $248.75.
It has not. I'll read it to you.
Read it.
It says previous balance $174. Balance payment $174. Balance $0.
$174. $174. Well, you're not going to try and get off the hook with $174. You owe $248.75.
What the hell? Hold on.
How do you figure $174?
Hello?
Hello?
Who am I speaking to?
This is Mr. Walter Myers, sir.
Hello, this is Mr. I work for Brooklyn Union Gas.
Right. Sir, we've sent 3 warning notices out.
You haven't sent me nothing.
Don't tell me we haven't sent you anything.
Don't tell me, because first of all, I pay all my bills.
Okay, hello?
Go ahead.
My supervisor,
What account are you looking for? Give me the number of the account.
The number of the account?
Yeah, that's right. Give me the number of the account that you're looking for.
Well, I have to punch it up in the computer. Hold on. Now you're trying to get off the hook of $172, your wife said? There's no bill of balance of $172. It's $248.75.
My bill is for $174.
Why is it $174? Is that every month?
That's correct. I am on the budget. What account number?
I'm punching the name up. Relax.
I'll punch you up.
Yeah?
Don't tell me, pal.
I said relax.
I deal with you people.
I said relax, or the power will be terminated.
You're full of shit.
You want to bet?
Yeah.
Don't play games.
Don't play with me, buddy.
We'll see by midnight.
The next 3 calls are just random calls busting people's balls. One is about me calling somebody at midnight and telling them, where are you? This is your next door neighbor, and you were supposed to come over for coffee tonight, and we got the coffee on, and you were supposed to bring the cake. Where the fuck are you? And the next one is a call I made to someone to tell them that the pork chops they cooked for me and my family gave us diarrhea. And then we're going to have another call where I called the guy and told him that sleep an extra hour tomorrow morning. I'm going to pick up the jelly donuts at the bakery. So 3 random ball-busting calls.
Hello?
Hi, you're a freeloader. You think you're coming over my house Saturday for dinner. You're crazy.
What?
What? It's Tony.
Who?
Tony. Next door.
Who?
It's Tony next door. Lower your TV so you can hear me.
Tony next door?
Yeah. Listen, are you coming over for coffee? My wife and I have been waiting for you.
You must have the wrong number.
We're waiting. The pot's on.
You have the wrong number.
Now I have the wrong number.
Yeah.
775.
Yeah.
Now I don't have the wrong number.
Well, who are you calling?
It's Tony next door. On the left of you, in the White House. No, really, are you coming?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know?
Sorry.
We talked to you yesterday. On the phone. You said you were bringing the Entenmann's crumb cake and jelly donuts.
You better check the phone number. No, I don't know who you are. I'm sorry.
Now you don't want to bring the jelly donuts. You're cheap.
Hello?
Those pork chops were terrible tonight. They were like shoe leather. Hello?
Yeah?
Yeah, my kids are all sick here. Did you cook them good enough? Hello?
I don't know who you're talking to.
This is Tony.
Yeah.
I'm calling about the pork chops. You didn't cook them good enough. All my kids got the runs tonight for dinner. You didn't cook them long enough. Those pork chops, those shake and bake.
Okay, well, we didn't have any pork chops. I don't know who you're calling.
Hello?
Yeah?
What'd you say?
We didn't have anything like that. I don't know who...
Have anything like what? What are you talking about? What didn't you have? Pork chops? Now they're saying I'm nuts, like I didn't come there for dinner. Carol, what'd you talk to her? I'll put my wife on the phone. Hold on.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? It's Tony. What's going on? I'm sorry to call you so late.
Tony who?
Tony DiLorenzo.
Who are you calling?
Who am I calling? But you sure know me at the holidays when my wallet's open. Come on, it's Tony. Listen, I'm going to get the jelly donuts in the morning. You don't have to go, because I know you're cheap and you never open that wallet of yours. So Carol told me I'm going to pick the jelly donuts up this week for the office.
Hang on, who are you talking to?
I don't know, who is this?
No, you tell me who you're talking to.
I'm Tony DiLorenzo.
From where?
From where? From Elmont. Where else?
No, hang on, because I think you may have the wrong number.
No, I don't.
Who are you trying to reach?
Tony.
Because I don't know you from any place, I'll be honest with you. Unless my memory's totally gone.
It's probably gone because it's very late at night. It's Tony from work. You know where you work, don't you?
There are no Tonys where I work.
There's no Tonys where you work. Well, look, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm picking up the donuts so you don't have to worry. You can go back to sleep and sleep an extra half an hour because I'm going to hit the bakery in the morning and bring the donuts in.
Okay.
All right, so this way you'll come there with a big appetite and you never break that wallet open, so I'm going to break mine open again.
Well, I always break my wallet open, number one. Number two, there's no Tony where I work.
You break it open once a month and those moths fly out of it.
No, there's only one Tony, and that's a female, and you're certainly not a female.
Well, I would hope not.
And please do not call me again.
Oh, I'm not calling you again. I just wanted to let you know. Why would I call you again? I let you know what I had to tell you. Why am I going to call you again? Like I'm going to waste my time calling you again.
Well, you called at 1 o'clock in the morning already, wasted my time.
Well, then go back to bed. Who's stopping you?
Goodbye.
You're rude.
Now, I've spoke about Caldor many times on this podcast. It's that crazy place I worked back in the 90s where I found shit in a stock room in a case of toys, where people have shit in kiddie pools, all kinds of hijinks going on at the store. Well, these 4 calls were made to Caldor long after I left the company and right before they went out of business. There's a scam with a snowblower where I tell the gentleman I bought a snowblower from him and part of it broke off and smashed my neighbor's windshield, and I was trying to get him to admit that they were wrong and cut me a check. Now, I wasn't really going to go down there with the check, and I make up a fake name and all that. Another one where I tell the man they tied a treadmill to my car. I bought a treadmill from them, and somehow it got loose on the Long Island Expressway and killed someone. And another one where a defective flywheel on a stationary bike broke my television and expensive stereo console unit. And another one is where I bought a blender and the blade shot through the blender and cut my mother-in-law and gave her 13 stitches. So enjoy these Caldor hijinks calls back from 1994.
Go ahead, please.
Hello, may I help you?
Hi, how you doing? I don't know if the young lady explained my situation or not.
She started to explain part of it to me, Mr. Ray.
Okay, I have big problems right now. I just bought a Jane Fonda unit for $399 from you guys.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 gentlemen, I guess they were from the maintenance area. They were paging them up front to bring it out to the car for me. Okay, I have a Pontiac Grand Am. They put it in the trunk. It wouldn't fit all the way, so they tied it. They put it in and then tied the door down.
Okay.
if you know what I'm trying to say. And
So it was hanging out of the trunk?
exactly. And I was driving on the Long Island Expressway. I was in the right lane doing about 40, 45 miles an hour. And the trunk, all of a sudden, I guess the rope that they used, it was that cheap twine, that plastic twine. Whatever, yeah. So the trunk popped open, and the unit fell on the road, and the car behind me that was riding in the lane hit the thing, swerved around, hit 2 trees. So I had to pull over. The police, everything, Suffolk County units were there. I got summonses, 3 summonses here, that the treadmill shouldn't have been in the trunk, and I just don't know what steps to take from here. Now the people that, hit the tree, they want a lawsuit, so I don't know where to turn, and I was hoping that you could, send me in a direction here.
Honestly, I don't know. In all the years I've been with the company, I've never run into this before.
Okay.
I really can't give you an answer, where to steer you or what to do.
Because, maybe...
like I said, it's never come up in all the years I've been with the company where I've run into this. I'm sure there are people that know.
All right, now, the only thing is, now, these people, they have all my information, my name, everything. They want compensation for this, so, they wanted me to call you to see if I can come down and you can write us a check.
No.
And, we could settle all this tonight. There'll be no lawyers involved. We'll just get a check.
Right off the bat, no.
Why not?
I cannot do. Because I can't.
Why is that?
Because I don't have checks with the Calder name on them, and we're a large corporation.
No, but not even like a petty cash voucher or something?
That I cannot do.
Because these people want a reparation, and right away they said, not me, I'm not looking to make anything on this.
The only thing I could think of is, I don't know how our insurance carrier will handle it, if they will get involved or not. It would definitely go through one of our insurance carriers.
I mean, because in the police report, and I'll read right with it was Officer McMurray from the County Police Department. He wrote one of the major cause of accident was exercise unit not properly strapped to vehicle. That's what he wrote on the accident report. So I don't know if that takes liability away from me, the car owner, and puts it into the hands of the gentleman that tied the unit down. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Like I said, I can't answer that question because I don't know what the actual answer is.
Because even the officer said to come down by you and check and see if maybe you can settle it with the people from store level, maybe send them a check or something. Because I'm not looking to make anything on this because, I just want the people that got hurt. Exactly, because there was a husband and wife driving. The wife's in the hospital now. They had ambulances on the scene and everything because they hit a tree and she got hurt. I mean, this is a major thing on the expressway tonight. This is not a little fender bender. I mean, their whole car's totaled out. They hit a tree. And they hit the unit, and I guess the car popped up and it swerved them off the side of the road onto the embankment. I mean, this was a bad scene there tonight. And traffic was backed up for miles.
I'm just writing everything down as you're talking for 2 seconds, trying
okay, good.
to give an answer.
So there was, I think 4 different county units were dispatched. I had 2 ambulances there. It was a big, this was about 2 hours ago. I was in about 6 o'clock. Picked up the unit and I was headed home. And, this all happened. I didn't expect any of this to happen tonight. So, I'm kind of having to deal with the situation now. Okay. This never happened before?
No, and I've been with the company 9 years. I've never run into...
You're the manager of the store?
No, I'm one of the assistant
managers. Oh, the assistant manager? Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I've been with Calder 9 years, and I haven't run into that where it's happened before.
I mean, I could see if it was on the roof and it slid down.
There's possibility of something like that happening.
But in the trunk, I guess the weight wasn't dispersed properly. I guess more weight was leaning on the outer edge than on the inner edge.
Right.
That's why it toppled out. So I guess they swerved. I guess they kind of hit it and then swerved to avoid it, and that was the end of it. I guess they were going over 55 miles an hour, and they couldn't control the vehicle.
Around it, right?
Yeah. So because it's a big unit, that Jane Fonda treadmill. Mm-hmm. So now what do I do? The unit I recovered the unit. It's in about 80 pieces.
Okay.
Do I bring that back? I mean, how do I go about at least getting?
We'll replace the unit for you. That's not a.
Now, but I don't even know how I'm going to get it back to you. The boxes, I recovered what I could of the unit. I mean, it's
whatever you can give us, just something that, even if it's just the box and like one piece out of it.
Okay.
Something that we can account for.
Because the boxes are all shredded up. I mean, it's the box isn't like intact when you buy it. I mean, it's half here, half there. I mean, that's the whole thing. I don't know how I'm going to get it back to you guys. And I know you need a certain amount of...
If you can give me part of the box with the barcode on it would be great if that piece is there.
Okay.
Just something like part of the box.
I thought it was going to be another Harry Chapin incident on the expressway tonight, the way that car swerved.
With the truck, right?
Yeah, I was singing Cats in the Cradle after this happened. This is no laughing matter here.
Can I have your phone number, Mr. Rand?
At home or at my business? Because I'm usually let me give you my home first of all.
Okay.
It's 653. I live in East Quogue on the island here on the South Shore.
Okay.
So I was cutting across to catch the the William Floyd down to Sunrise, because I don't like taking that 58 around. That's like a death trap. But I ended up I should have went that way. None of this would have happened tonight.
And is there a number that you can be reached tomorrow in the daytime?
Well, honestly, after all this, I don't even think I'm going to be going in tomorrow, because I have to get all this now with lawyers and everything. I'm going to have to make calls, and I don't know. I'm going to have to make calls, and I'm not going to be able to work tomorrow. I'm in a frenzy here. My wife's all shooken up, because she was in the car too. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get. So you can reach me at this number during the day tomorrow.
Okay. I'll let them know up front.
Who do you have to call now? Who are you going to deal with?
Okay, I'm gonna get in touch with the operations manager who would handle that for the building. His name is.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he is not here tonight. I'm gonna see if I can get him. The store manager I know is unavailable.
Okay. How come the store manager's unavailable?
He's not here tonight.
Oh, he doesn't handle these things?
Well, normally he would, but he's not around tonight. He's going away to Connecticut for a store meeting. Normally the operations manager handles it.
Because this, I was almost embarrassed to call that. You guys were going to think that I was, smoking crack or something, calling about something like this,
Yeah, as long as you can bring me, like, anything that was the unit, we'll give you a logo, and that's not a...
If I was to stop in either tonight or tomorrow, do you want a copy of the accident report too, everything? Should I submit it? I mean,
it wouldn't hurt to hold them. I'm not sure exactly what we will need. Like I said, I don't have the answer. I'll have to try and find out.
And I got summonses here, hundreds of dollars that I have to pay now. They said I violated laws with that thing sticking out without a flag on it, that it was beyond the 18 inches of county law.
You're allowed 3 feet, I thought.
No, they said as of November 1st, 1993, it's 18 inches. The law,
18 inches?
Yeah, the law changed, and I violated that. I was at like 26 inches. So they said I'm 8 inches over the violation, and it's $100, and then another $100 for having the trunk open like that, and then another $100 for reckless endangerment of the vehicle behind me. So I'm in all kinds of trouble here.
I got you a couple of things.
Yeah, the officer, he told me, he felt bad for me, but he said, he's got to, put it in the report, and he's got to issue the.
He's got to document everything.
That's or else he'll get in trouble. So I'm in a whole heap of trouble. There's going to be lawyers. I'm going to have to call that 1-800-US lawyer that they advertise on the TV.
Probably best you should notify your insurance agent.
What, with the car?
Yeah. You're going to have to notify them anyway, since the police were, just so you're aware of it. Anytime your car is involved in an incident and a police report has been filed out, a copy will go to Albany, and a copy will end up at your insurance carrier.
Wow.
You'll get probably in the mail, I'd say maybe within a month, a form you'll have to fill out stating what happened.
Yeah, but I even got more trouble here. I don't have car insurance.
Ew, I don't want to know that.
I don't have any car insurance. I drive without it. I don't believe in it.
Okay, so you don't have to...
So the cop, I got in trouble for that too. So that's a $500 fine.
Yeah.
And plus, I didn't have my license with me tonight, so I got another summons for that. So I'm in a lot of trouble here.
Got it from everybody. Okay. Like I said, I don't have the answer.
And one headlight was out too. I just want to add, and I had no taillights.
Sounds like you were driving my car.
Yeah, you have no headlights?
Well, I'm out of one of my high beams are out. No, sorry, one of the low beams are. I drive with the high beams.
It's a good thing I only had 2 beers tonight, or I would have been in real trouble.
Like I said, I don't have the answers for you tonight. Either I'll get back to you or will get back to you.
Okay.
And we'll see what we can do. I don't know how they handle it. Like I said, nobody will be able to get back to you tonight.
Okay.
There'll be nobody we can ask.
All right. Now, my wife, I feel bad for her second night out of the hospital tonight, and, she's got to deal with this. All right. Well, I would appreciate it. I'll be here all day tomorrow if you can get back to me sometime and let me know.
Like I said, I'll let Mr. know. He'll be the one that gets back to you on it, him or someone in our corporate office.
Oh, so you're not like the big dog around there?
No.
All right.
And even something like that, it goes through, because we're a large corporation, everything goes through a corporate.
Right, level.
Right.
Oh, wow. So this could take weeks and months.
I don't know. Like I said, I've never heard it happen, in one of our stores. I'm sure it has. I just wasn't involved with it when it did happen.
Right.
So I don't know what the solution is, and I don't want to give you incorrect information.
And I gave them a nice tip, too, the boys.
He said it was around 6 o'clock, too, huh?
Yeah, $5 each I gave them for carrying it out. And this is what I get.
You should have at least, you'd hope it was tied in.
Yeah.
All right, let me see what we can do, and someone will be back in touch with you again tomorrow, Mr. Rain, and it was 653.
Right.
Okay. I think I got most of the information.
Do you need my address, too, while we're at it, just so you have everything on me? Well, I guess it won't hurt, right, in case they ask you?
Sure.
Okay, it's 6. And that's in East Quogue.
Okay.
All right, so, in case they need any of that, you have it.
We'll have that, okay.
All right.
Let me see what they say. Someone should be back in touch with you tomorrow.
All right, I appreciate it. I'm sorry to inconvenience you tonight.
It's no inconvenience, Mr. Rain.
All right, have a good evening.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.
Go ahead, please.
May I help you?
Hi, how you doing? I was just speaking to that nice gentleman over in the house
Are you
with the blender.
Yes. What happened, sir?
Oh, I was explaining that we were in your store. We purchased that Hamilton Beach blender that's on sale in the ad. My wife and I came in. We picked up a few things, some Rubbermaid stuff, and we were on the way out. We came home with the blender, and I make like a homemade tomato sauce, my wife and I. We put the tomatoes in there. So my mother-in-law was sitting at the table having tea and cookies, and we were making the sauce. We were all, talking and everything. I put the tomatoes in. I put the top on. I plugged it in. I hit the puree button, and it was, pureeing the tomatoes. All of a sudden, we heard like a hissing sound. So I said to my wife, what's that? All of a sudden, before we know it, the blade inside the carafe shot right through the plastic, broke all the tomato sauce, the glass, all over the place, and the blade flew across and hit my mother-in-law's cheek and chin and gave her 13 stitches. So, it was like one of those freak type of things. So I was wondering, who to contact.
Well, I tell you what, I will contact them to call you, okay? What's your name, sir?
My name is Bud, B-U-D.
Okay.
Paxson, P-A-X-O-N.
Okay, Mr. Paxson, and what's your phone number, sir?
Sure, it's area code 516-586.
And what's your mother-in-law's name?
My mother-in-law's name is Ann.
Okay. Okay, sir. My name is... I'm the store manager.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call our Consumer Relations Division.
Okay.
To have them give you a call. Are you at this number right now?
Yes,
sir?
I am. What do you think? Honestly, have you ever had this happen with these?
To be totally honest with you, I have never, ever heard of anything like this happening. So I don't even want to guess to what happened. Let me get a hold of these guys and let them give you a call.
Okay, because my mother-in-law is still in like shock over it. She didn't, we were all just, she was having tea and the Stelladoro crackers here at the table. She's in her 80s. She's an older lady. Just sitting.
She's in her 80s.
Yeah, she's an older. So she was, she didn't know what hit her, and we turned around. We didn't realize it hit her, and she fell off the chair. She was bleeding all over. We had to have the ambulance come. The whole deal. It was the whole 9 yards. This happened last night. We just got everything straightened out, and they told me at the doctor's office to contact the store where I purchased it and take it from there.
Absolutely.
Because
the Hamilton Beach blender that we had on.
I don't know the exact model actually, because of all the chaos, everything. I don't even know what the model. It's in the ad though.
Okay.
I might have the flyer.
Well, that's okay. I'll find that out. That's not a problem.
But
not a problem at all.
I just Hamilton Beach. I've been buying their products for years, mixers, blenders. I never had a problem until now.
I've got one myself.
Oh, you have a Hamilton Beach?
I have a Hamilton Beach myself.
And you make the tomato sauce in it, right?
My wife makes everything.
Yeah, and milkshakes.
No matter what you put in there, if you put tomatoes.
It wasn't even. It was like the canned tomatoes that you buy in the store with It wasn't like I stuffed whole tomatoes in there and expected it to jam the motor. It was just regular, something I do all the time.
Sure. Okay, Mr. Let me get a hold of our Consumer Relations Division. I'll have them give you a call.
I appreciate it, Mr. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hello, may I help you?
Yes, is this the seasonal area?
Yes, sir.
Hi, how you doing today? I'm calling in reference, last week when you had those snow throwers on sale, I picked one up, the Toro 1800.
Right.
It was on sale for $279.99. Okay, listen, I had a problem with it. That was the, what do you call it? That was the 12-amp motor and all that.
Okay.
You know which one I'm referring to?
I believe I know which one.
It's the big one, not the one that was on sale for $314. It was the other one, the $279. It was like the mid-sized one.
Right.
Okay, I had it in my driveway. I turned it on just to see if it worked. Okay.
Go ahead.
One of the coils, the blades inside there shot off and broke my neighbor's windshield. Okay, and now they want to sue me for the windshield. And I was wondering, if Toro or if Caldor, who is liable for the defect on the piece of merchandise?
That would be Toro.
All right, now how do I go about it? Because the lawyer called me about an hour ago and said this happened earlier this morning and they want to sue.
Second, let me see if I have their 800 number here.
Well, wouldn't I have to speak to you guys since you guys sold it to me? You're the merchant.
No, because that would come under their warranty and everything that you got with the unit.
All right, what's to stop them from saying that maybe it was mishandled at the store and they a part jarred loose or something? From a legal point, they could turn around and say that you guys, maybe didn't unload it. I'm just, saying what they might tell me.
It's product liability.
Okay.
That would all come under product liability. As far as that goes, it wasn't a model from the floor where they can say that, something we did setting it up or whatever. Okay, but all of that on anything that happens like that would become product liability upon the company.
Yeah, I never heard of something like this happening.
I haven't either.
Have you had any other problems?
Never. This is the first time I've heard of any of that.
Wow.
That's what's shocking, especially, Toro's not a fly-by-night company either.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because maybe I should have bought the more expensive model and this wouldn't have happened. Now I'm starting to...
You know that you could buy a Cadillac and wind up with a nut or a bolt in the engine. I've seen that happen to people also. In fact, I had a relative that it happened to. A bolt wound up in the engine somehow during the manufacturing of the engine.
Right.
And just blew the engine right out.
Wow.
I mean, these things do happen. It's not often, I don't know. It's the first I've ever heard of that.
Thank God, that the kids weren't out and it didn't hit one of the kids.
Right.
That's, that's the thing I'm thankful for.
Hold on one second. Let me just check.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry to keep you.
That's okay.
Okay.
I had a good idea, though.
Yeah.
Why don't I just send the neighbors in and you guys give them a check and then Toro can reimburse you?
They won't do that.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. Yeah, you give them $400 or $500, let them get the windshield fixed, and then you guys deal with Toro.
Well,
and my hands are clean.
The thing that they would only do here is fill out an insurance form and send it in, and then they would...
You must have like a petty cash box or something you can pay out.
No, they don't do that.
You must have something, a big corporation like you guys. Because my neighbor, now he's going to go through court. Why don't we just settle it now? I'll send him in.
There's nothing we can do at store level on this, sir. An insurance form would be filled out. It would go into the company.
Well, who do you deal with? What insurance?
That's out of Rhode Island or Connecticut.
It sounds like some fly-by-night insurance company, like some shyster.
Would you like the 800 number for Toro?
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to go through them, because I think this is wrong. If you guys are selling shoddy equipment,
We're not selling shoddy equipment. We're selling a manufacturer's product. We don't test every product.
Is there a store manager available?
You're speaking to him, sir.
You are the store manager?
This is the store manager.
What's your name?
Joel.
How you doing, Joel? But I don't like the fact that you guys, you advertise something, you come in and get it. Half the time you're out of it, then you come in and get it. Now it causes a neighborhood a riot. Because I'm being taken to court over this. Hello?
I'm listening to you, but
I'm not getting any response here.
I'm trying to tell you the only thing I can do for you. They cannot come in here.
You mean to tell me you're the manager of the store on duty right now, and you can't, wheel and deal and finagle something?
No, I can't, sir.
Why can't you do something?
Because there's procedures that the company follows, and the procedure is if there is a claim, we'd have to fill out an insurance form, which would go into the company, and then the company would be in touch with the party. And being that it's a product liability thing, it would be a two-way situation. Now, all I can do is...
You guys must get... Do you deal direct with vendors? Sometimes they come in and write you credits and stuff. I'm sure you can wheel and deal and get a check on the side or something.
We can't do that, sir.
It happens all the time.
It does not go through the company like that. I don't know what kind of companies you deal with, but we don't deal that way. We do not get anything back from vendors as far as checks or anything.
You don't get for fishing poles or something like that? They don't...
They may have credits that'll go towards a bill that's handled out of the home office. Nothing goes across the desk here as far as cash checks or anything else.
I find that hard to believe.
I don't know, again, what company...
Why don't I just give you my name and... Let me give you my name and address and phone number. You just send me a check in the mail.
Sir, this can't be done this way. I told you that I can either give you Toro's 800 number... I
don't need a number. I need cash or a check.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it. If you want to send the people in to fill out an insurance form on it, we'll...
The only way they'll come out of the house is if there's cash or checks involved.
Yes, sure, there's no check, sir.
Because, is there somebody like, a district place I can call, for calendar? Is there somebody I can speak to? Because, right away now you
One second, I'll see if I can get...
You sell shoddy goods and now you don't want to pay.
1 second, I'll see if I can get a number for you.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hi.
I'm sorry to keep...
That's okay. You got the check?
I have no check. All I have is a number.
Oh, you only got the number. I thought maybe you worked something out.
No, there's nothing to work at. If you'd like to call the insurance company direct, or I can have them call you, I can give you our insurance company's number.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, it's 1-800.
Okay.
The company's name is...
This is a shyster firm. I can tell just by the sound of it. Who the hell ever heard of I heard of Aetna or all these companies. All right. Now, can I have another question?
Sure.
If I return, I'm going to obviously get my money back for the snowblower because it's defective. Now, I don't want to go returning this until there's an investigation on this.
As long as you hold on to the receipt, we'll take it back whenever you bring it in.
All right, because, if I was to return it, and then people say, well, we didn't get to inspect it, if the insurance company wants to look at it, I don't want to go returning it yet until I get all this straightened out.
No, as long as just hold on to the receipt, we'll be happy to take it.
All we had to do was make me return it, you give me a check, and we could have had the whole thing settled. Now I got to go through all these red tape. That's all you had to do.
That way, sir.
You could have just wrote out a check.
We don't do it that way, sir.
I don't understand.
What companies you deal with, but we don't do it that way.
Kmart gives checks.
Well, I have no idea on Kmart's policy.
They write big checks.
That's Kmart. I'm sorry, I can't help you any further than that. If you want, I'll give you our home office number. You can call them, ask the Consumer Affairs, and they'll tell you the same thing that I'm telling you. If you'd like that, I'll be happy to give you that number, too.
Right, so you're like a big shot there is what you're telling me. You know all the rules.
I go by company policy, sir.
You go by, all right, well, I'm going to have to, pursue this my way then because, I try to call up, be a nice guy. I'm the one who should be angry here. I call up, I'm a nice guy about it. I'm the guy who spent, $500 in your store the other day, who comes in there twice a week and drops all kinds of cash in there. And now, I need something, and this company's not here for me.
Company, again, we do not pay out money. It goes through an insurance company. We have nothing to do.
But there's exceptions to everything. I ran a business for years, and I took care. You bend a little bit for the customer. You don't just say no. I never heard of saying no to a customer before. In my time, I ran businesses.
Well, I'm not saying no, sir, but this company does not hand out $500 checks for repairs without...
He's got an estimate. It's not like I'm going to rake you over the coals for the windshield.
I'm not saying anything. It's handled by the insurance company. That's why we have insurance companies.
I'm not looking to make anything on this. I just want my money back for the snowblower and my neighbor windshield fixed. That's all I want. I'm not looking to make a buck here.
No, I'm not saying you are, sir. Like I said, we'll be happy to refund the snowblower. We'll be happy to send an insurance claim in for the problem. And
how long is it going to take through them?
Takes care of that. We don't hand out $500 checks, $400 checks, or whatever it is. We just don't do it.
Well, it's not a handout. It's something that, I'm not coming in and just...
Handout is to take it from my hand and put it into your hand or whoever.
Well, then mail it to me.
We don't do that, sir. I gave you the number of the insurance company. I've offered to give you the number of our...
But that's not going to solve my neighbor's problem. He needs to get this windshield fixed.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it, sir.
His car...
My home office...
His car insurance won't even cover it. He's been driving around without insurance for the last 6 months. So he can't even get his insurance claim on it because he has no car insurance. He drives around with no insurance, so he can't even get
He shouldn't even complain then.
Well, it's not something that was caused, so we have to keep this quiet. We can't even have like police involved or anything because he has no car insurance. They'll lock him up.
Well, I can't do anything about it. I can't help you any further than I am, and I'm sorry, but that's all I can do for you.
All right, Joel. Thank you for your help.
You're quite welcome.
Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Hello, can I help you?
Hi, is this the sporting goods area?
Yes, it is.
How are you today?
Pretty good, how are you?
Well, I'm doing all right, except I have a problem. I was wondering if somebody there in the store can help me, so I asked for the department. I was in your store yesterday in Shirley over there in the Caldor, and I purchased, that DP ergometer bike?
Uh-huh.
The ones with the handles that sway back and forth when you ride?
Yes.
Okay, well, I brought it home. My wife and I were in. We purchased it. We brought it home. All that you have to assemble on it was the legs and the two arms, right?
Uh-huh.
So we were riding. I got on it, and we were riding it. The flywheel that goes around that's inside that plastic unit.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what was wrong, but I was riding the bike. I got it up to about 15 to 20 miles an hour. That whole flywheel shot off the unit, hit my widescreen TV, broke the whole thing, my whole component system, everything. I got thousands of dollars worth of damage here. So I wanted to contact the store and see if I had to come in and fill out forms to claim on the stereo and the component system I have here.
You're going to have to talk to the store manager.
All right, because I took pictures. I mean, it's nothing. If it was a part that I assembled, I would say, okay, but this is part of the bike that already comes pre-assembled, and there was no adjustment that I had to make on this.
Right.
All I had to do was
He's
put on...
not in at the moment. If you give him about another hour...
Yeah. Have you ever heard... Has this happened before?
No.
Because
I know that the store probably won't pay out or anything like that. You'd have to go through your homeowners.
Are you the manager of the department?
Yes.
Yeah, you are. Okay, good.
I don't know how it would work. I mean, I've never heard of that happening before. He has more authority than me to say what he can possibly do for you.
Right. I mean, this is, I was afraid to call because I thought you would think that I was crazy. I was going to come down in person and show you. I had to take pictures of Polaroids of all the damage and everything. And I have glass and plastic and everything all over the place here. And this happened last night, so I waited till today. By the time I called my homeowner's insurance, everything, I had to call, and they told me to contact the store, and then they'll take it from there. They'll tell me, which direction to go in. But, I just, wanted to...
I don't think that we're liable for anything like that.
Yeah, I just wanted to try the bike, and now I have company coming. I'm embarrassed. People are going to come to my house for dinner and see plastic and a flywheel sitting in the middle. I don't want to touch anything until...
Why don't you give me your name and your phone number?
Okay. You got a pen?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Bud, B-U-D, Paxson, P-A-X-O-N.
Okay, and your phone number?
I'm at 586...
Okay.
So what's the manager's name?
Larry.
Larry. So Larry will be in a little while?
Yeah, he just stepped out for lunch.
Oh, good. You got to eat. Okay.
Yeah, okay, but I'll let him know.
All right. I appreciate it. What was your name? You're very helpful.
Francesca.
Francesca, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
And on this last call, I got the tables turned on me, folks. I called a overnight radio show in New York City called the Jay Diamond Show. Now, this guy was on the radio for years, and it was right after OJ got arrested for the killing of his wife and Ronald Goldman. And it was right around the time that a deranged fan ran on the court and stabbed tennis superstar Monica Seles. So I figured I was going to call this guy up, and I was going to somehow, on his overnight talk show as a caller, and connect these two. Say somehow there was a direct link between O.J. Simpson and that double murder and the Monica Seles stabbing, like this elaborate mystery. While Jay Diamond was having nothing didn't want any part of this, and basically turned the tables and made a total fool out of me. So enjoy the fool he made out of yours truly.
Hello, Tony. This is Jay Diamond. Hi.
Hi, good morning, Jay. How are you today?
Good.
I just wanted to bring up a simple point about the O.J. case that nobody seems to really be looking at. I think it's quite obvious. I think there's a direct correlation between the O.J. Simpson double murder and the Monica Seles stabbing. And nobody seems to link these two together. It's so obvious. I bet you want me to elaborate on that.
No, not particularly, because, you see, I don't like this mystery business where people state this provocative theme and then they wait for me to beg them.
No.
Next time you call me, just state in clear exposition what it is that you want to say, rather than waiting for me to pull teeth.
Okay, then I'll explain.
I thought you were going to explain.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Don't bother. Bill, this is Jay. You hear? I mean, do you believe the imbeciles that I have to deal with? I mean, this is unbelievable. Okay, then I'll explain. And then it's quiet. Is it so difficult just to speak to a man on the telephone? Is it really beyond your...
Ridiculous.
You're not kidding.
Ridiculous.
You're right. You're stupid. If there's one... No, I'll tell you the truth. I like people. It's just that I am contemptuous of total, complete, absorbing, all-encompassing, consuming stupidity. And yet, it seems I'm exposed to it to an inordinate degree. Bill, this is Jay Diamond. Hi.
Hello, Jay. I wanted to ask you a question. Anybody come up with a theory?
So that's going to wrap it up, folks. I hope you enjoyed our vintage prank calls. Put this show together very quickly, and I hope I've been saving these calls for you guys for a while, so I hope you found them fun. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to us, on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, CastBox, Radio Public, YouTube, wherever you get us. Hit the subscribe button. If you have an iTunes account, even if you don't listen to us on iTunes, go there and write us a nice review. It helps us in the standings. Again, thank you all for your continued support. 2,500 last week. Let's make it 3,000 this week, folks. I'm getting greedy now. I appreciate each and every one of you. It's not only about how many people, it's the quality of the people, and that I'm actually entertaining you guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the calls, and we'll be back next week. I do have a confirmed guest host next week, and we're going to be talking about a fun topic that I think you can all relate to. So, folks, even when you pick up the telephone in your house, whether you're out at the Super Bowl, no matter where you are, you know it, folks. You have to beware, because it's a shit show out there. That's it, folks. Beware. It's a shit show out there. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a bunch of malarkey. Take care, everybody.